Hello, welcome to this video. Today I want to show you how you can access your app inside the container. And I will run a simple Nginx web server and do so by running docker run -e for the detached mode, followed by, let's give it a name, Nginx, followed by the image Nginx, because there is an official Nginx web server image on Docker Hub, and we choose the Alpine version. Let's check if the container is running, and yes, it's running. Now we want to get the shell into the container. We can do so by docker exec followed by -it. Then the image name, it's the container name, Nginx. Then we have to specify the program. We have to use Alpine does not have a bash, so this wouldn't work, as we can see here, but we can use the standard shell. And now we are inside the container, and we could just run curl localhost, and we can see the welcome to Nginx message. So this is the default HTML page which is served by the web server, and actually this is stored under user share Nginx HTML and index HTML. Yeah, and we can see that's basically the same HTML page. So I have a quick look at the config, which is stored at etc nginx conf.d, and we have a default configuration. So the Nginx server is listening on port 80. The root directory, which I showed before, was user share Nginx HTML. And there are even some error pages. There's even a 404 page, for example, with curl localhost and use a path which doesn't exist because I don't have any other page than the default one, like test. So there's the 404 page coming. So let's exit out of the container, and how we can access this Nginx web server out of our local machine. Because if I do localhost, there will be nothing coming from the web server. And this is because we have to use a container port mapping. But I have to start in another container because I cannot change it for the running container. So I name it Nginx published, and here I have to specify the port mapping. So I go with 8080 and 80. So the first port is a host port. The second one is the container port. Because our Nginx web server is listening on port 80, I have to use here the same port as specified in the config. And now let's check this container is running. Yes. Now I could use curl localhost and I have to specify support. Now we can see the welcome to Nginx page. So this is working. But the problem with that is that we have actually opened port 8080 for all our other network devices, for all our IP addresses. So if I'm not behind the router, this might So my Nginx web server would be publicly available under curl, and then followed by my IP. So this is pseudocode. So this would be actually possible out of the internet, but we can just make a port mapping only for one IP address. For example, we can make it only for our loopback address. So if we go back to the docker run command, so I have to name it differently, like maybe loopback. And now we have to specify the IP address, which is this one. This is my loopback address. So this is basically the IP address for this local machine. I already forgot that I have already opened 8080, so I have to specify a different port for this one. And now I have to even use a different name. Let's go with loopback 2 and 8082. Now let's check how many containers I already created. So we can see here that this is my loopback address. And if I curl this address, or I can even just use the domain name, which is localhost, and I specify the port 8082, I can get the welcome to Nginx page. So let's quickly open it in the browser as well. Item in localhost, use 8080 because 8080 was opened on all my IP addresses. And I will use 8082, and actually it's working as well. So 8082 is only accessible on my loopback address, or rather my domain name. So this domain name resolves to my loopback address. Yeah, and that's basically all I wanted to show you. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this helped you understand how Docker maps ports and makes your app accessible.